to say this though, because I've always been on the other side of you. You've said foul play, and I've said I think she really did do it, right? And the reason why I do think that is because when you have planned and you have thought thoroughly through something, you do that research, and maybe she did that research. She said hanging 2 months before, right? What if she learned and practiced and tried, you know what I mean? And was prepared for this.
That's why we need to get into that phone.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems to me like she thought through this and all this stuff.
That's why we need to get into that phone. Yeah. Okay. That was the videos that said, let's get Courtney Brown's thoughts on Aaliyah Wilson's unalivement. We still on at 500K? That's crazy. There's another one here.
Nicole.
Oh, no, not that one. Okay.
F does that. People who don't want to be here anymore, honey. That's who does that. Like, plenty of people research and find ways to no longer be here. Just like they research and find ways to make sure other people are no longer here.
Denise has the phone, but she said she can't get into it.
Don't believe that.
All right, y'all. This video is about to rock everything that we understand. That's what we got told. So we're going to take a look at it. This is Sunday service with Courtney and Denise. It is done by VS Icon.
500K.
Yeah, what's funny? They practice how to do it, LMAO. What's funny?
What the fuck?
How we inaccurate? Y'all got a bob. They said AJ yell at them. They don't listen.
Now, I am about to start. First, let me drop this link. This link is only for Jules and Tashana and Tia, you as well when you're ready to hit the link. I'm going to drop it right now, and then we're going to go ahead and start. All right, so that's the link.
Oh, that's Kiana. I'm like, I'm hearing an
Now,
echo.
because I don't want to keep dropping the link, and I don't want to leave it up there because you know how these people are. You already know. All right, I see you, Miss Denise. I see you. But Miss Denise, you might want to be in the chat over on YouTube. Now, Miss Denise, I hope you can handle what's about to happen now, Miss Denise. Now, we know you're going to cut up, but can't nobody cut up but Miss Denise. We know she's going to cut up. We already know in the chat. But we about to get started. All right, I see Jules in the back. I see our number one guest in the back. Tashana, I don't see you. Thea, I don't see you just yet. So we're about to go ahead. Okay, and then our guest has a friend who's coming up with her as well. We done lost our guest. Okay, hold on, she back. Okay, I see her. All right, guys, I'm gonna do a quick musical, and then we're gonna go ahead and start. It's not gonna take long. I just want to get everybody together. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, please. We want to be professional. Already, I feel like it's not fully professional because I had to go through all this to say all this ahead of time. Usually, I like to get right to it, but in a situation like this, we need to get it right. We got 130 over on TikTok. over on YouTube. We at 4:05. Y'all share this live out, share this video out. Y'all get ready. We're about to get started. We're about to turn up, okay? Everyone, we're gonna play a little music, and then I am going to add up my co-host. Let me go ahead and add my co-host. We have Jules. How are you doing, Jules?
I'm doing good, Vias. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. We about to get it, and listen, Jules, I want you to be your authentic self. Just how we've been doing. It is what it is. We do have our guest in the back. All right, I'm gonna do a quick little music thing.
Who is
and then
this
we'll go
lady?
ahead and get started. I just kind of feel like I had to kind of break some things down because we know Miss Denise gonna cut up, and we gonna let that be. But first, we gonna let Courtney get everything else she can get out. All right, so here we go. There's no police activity towards this woman or anything.
Just very open and
Okay, so this is how we get people to have
A bigger box.
Is this the first time you heard this from Miss Denise?
no.
Okay, so you have heard this before. Okay, so the first thing I want to ask you is, how did you meet Aaliyah?
I met her off of the exact date. I met her on February 25th, 2018. We met off of a dating app. It was called POF. And we started conversating and then we exchanged numbers and it went from there.
Okay, so you met Aaliyah from a dating app. Now, before the dating app, did you have any history, any knowledge, anything about her? You guys just met off the app and y'all just started dating?
Yeah, no.
Now, how long was it before
we can't, 'cause
you
they
and
got that
her
thing down
got
there.
into a
That's why they
situation where y'all
snatched
was
the
living
line.
together or y'all got really close? Was this a very quick relationship? Because I'm part of LGBT or whatever, and I do understand, especially women, we move fast. You know what I'm saying? Was this one of those situations y'all immediately just started?
It was something like that, really and truly, because I had just got a relationship, so it was more so like a couple months before I even went that way with her. Just for the simple fact of her background, I had to question myself if I wanted to truly, be with this person and just all the things that came with it, all the red flags that I see. Should have stuck with, but hey, yeah.
Okay, now this other person up here, this is another co-host. This is Tashana.
Oh God, she getting on my nerves with all these damn co-hosts.
And I'm gonna introduce the people to you after a while. Because we kind of out of order, but All right. So when you first got with Aaliyah, was you aware that she had any mental health issues? Were you aware of that right away?
Yes. Well, yeah, definitely. She told me she was very open about like her life, just very open, and she opened up pretty fast, so that's why I said it didn't move too fast. It was just more so like everything she was telling me was just, oh my goodness.
We got you. Okay. All right. Okay. So without going too deep, did she also make you aware of her medical situation?
Yes, ma'am. She put it in a scenario. I'll never forget it because I instantly knew what she was talking about when she gave the scenario about it. So I kind of just, after I let her, say what she had to say, but I just told her straight up, is this about you? So she was very open and honest about it.
Okay, so that's a good part that we heard, that she was open and honest with you about that. So as far as Ms. Denise saying that you were using that medical illness that she has as a weapon, can you speak on that?
I'm not sure what she mean by weapon.
Well,
what she's pertaining to, she's probably pertaining to this post that I made, which was me asking point of view, like somebody else's perspective, what would they have done, or what would they...
Okay, to everybody, I don't know what y'all don't understand that's going on right here. This lady with the hat is Icon. She's the host of this live. This is her YouTube live. Jules, the lady over there with the tattoo on her arm, it says Jules in the box. It's her co-host. The lady down there with the afro, look like Sister Soldier, that is her other co-host. That say Life with Tashana. Tashana was a little late. She might have been putting a little, do grow or blue magic.
just right along on her afro. Just right along on her afro.
Okay. Well, it do look moist. That's all I was saying. Anyways, beneath the host is Courtney Brown, the one we just watched do a video. Now, I don't know how y'all must want to know later. This is what's going on, y'all. Also, we do not have gifting abilities. So please, y'all, get your dues in. Get your dues in. Get your dues in. No. I'm not saying nothing bad. I'm just saying she was a little late. So everybody getting confused.
What they do if they was in the situation that I was at that time, like how would they feel, just me seeking validation from others or whatever, and just really still just saying whatever and just going on with my decision of wanting to be with her.
And Courtney, at no time you ever used the medical situation against her. At no time. Even in the heat of the moment, having an argument, never used it.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, hold on, guys. Hold on. Now, I'm trying to get your friend up here, but it keeps saying that either his or her mic or camera.
I don't think they're trying to come in. That's the thing. They're not trying. I just sent that link to just them because I didn't know what your YouTube was or anything. I didn't know.
They're on the wrong link. They're on the StreamYard link versus the regular YouTube link.
Well, if they're watching this, Sam, or my other friend's phone, if y'all are watching this, bro, just go to her YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's VC Iconic. Go there.
VS.
I'm sorry, my brain. VS Iconic on YouTube, and you'll be able to chat and everything else.
And I did open up the chat. I had on members. I took it off because it's confusing people. I took it off so everybody should be able to chat, okay, from both channels. All right, TikTok. Y'all make sure, please, somebody make sure y'all sharing out. I need to see Courtney's Cash App as well as her social medias flowing throughout the live if you guys don't mind. And if you're on TikTok, please double tap, okay? I need you guys to do it for me.
Now.
Okay, hold on one second. Okay, I got some moderators over here already. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so far you said you met Aaliyah off of Plenty of POF.
Mm-hmm.
Then you said y'all did kind of get into a relationship pretty fast. And then I asked you, was you aware that
we met in February, so we got together. I asked her out in April 27th.
Okay. And you said you are aware that Ms. Denise are making these accusations towards you, and then you are aware of her illness. She was open and honest.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that, when you've gotten mad before you.
Okay, wait a minute, y'all. We got another restriction. We got to tap. We got to bop. I don't know. What is it? But I don't even got none of the stuff on the screen. It's just a picture now.
Think you should do? I think you should just restart and everybody come right back. That would be the smartest thing to do because you don't want it to just be gone. Because everyone's been coming here as a central place for the case. What you think?
Okay, let's try.
Yeah, I think so. I think just reset and we'll get the bops back up. Y'all, we made it to 500,000. I know we could do it again, okay, y'all?
Okay, let's
Damn, I'm mad I missed that. Okay. Hopefully I can look it up afterwards. But it was just like, let me come up and ask while she's like pulling everything together. Is that on YouTube? I'll watch it like later.
Yeah.
No, it's on Facebook. We'll figure out a way for us to upload it, and by the time we leave here, I'll tell y'all where it's gonna be at.
AJ, you got YouTube?
Yeah, I got YouTube.
Okay. Put it on YouTube. So
yeah, put it on your YouTube so it can stay forever.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just what I was coming up to say. I'll be down in the comments. Thank you.
My YouTube is Booker AJ, y'all. If anybody asked.
You got your 50 subscribers, so you can start going over there, going live.
I don't know. I should. I got more than 50 JJs.
I'm gonna need to go over there right quick.
Y'all, I don't see the curtains, so we're gonna just thug it. But I need y'all to keep bopping and helping a sister out, y'all. Come on now. Send the small gifts. Bop, bop, bop. We gotta keep the live nice and healthy. Cause I don't see the curtains. Maybe.
Good on YouTube. You got 111 now. You need to be going live over there. That's where the money is.
Oh Lord.
You do.
Just the one Susu like. All right.
No, it was just like, 'cause when she came to live with me, actually. When I met her, she was staying with a friend, a guy, and his family or whatever. So, and it was just like very, very uncomfortable for her and everything. So I asked my mom and, told her about her situation and this and that. And pretty much she came to live in with me around April, at the end of April, beginning of May.
So from February to the end of April, you two were just dating, and then at the end of April, you moved in together.
Yeah.
I got this car.
Oh Lord.
And look how much I was paying for
Oh, they
insurance
gonna
before.
stress me.
AJ, somebody on blue.
Thea, press mute, baby.
They found Blue. Okay, send it to me. Messenger.
Okay, all right. So let's move into the next chapter. Okay, so the next chapter now is you and Aaliyah are getting to know each other. Now you said she came to live with you and your mother. Now in the midst of this, were you saying like, what are you doing here? Where's your family? Like, was you confused about her family? Like, where'd she come from?
Michigan and everything. She told me that she's been in Houston pretty much, like, not all of her life, but majority of her life. She's been in foster homes, multiple foster homes, in and out. She did go back to stay with her mom. I remember because she told me she was living in the basement of that home at the time. And then she came back to Houston. But she's also been to other places such as like Cali, Florida. She's been to New York. She's been a couple of few places actually, Louisiana, and that's where she was getting food stamps from because she had an ex-girlfriend out there, so she knew a lot of different people. She was very, very well known.
Now, was she well known in a good way? When you say well known, like well known in a good way or a bad way?
More so in a bad way. People, just in a bad way. People were just trying to get to her because she was pretty and she was very sexually open for whatever reason.
Yeah. Okay. Now, as you and her were getting to know each other, what was she telling you about her upbringing? That's what we need to know about. We want to know about the upbringing because it's being said she was estranged from her mom. She was estranged from her mom. We heard about some molestation stories. We heard about, you even kind of slipped up and told me a little something about the stepfather now. That they're now. So we want to get off into that. So we could just kind of walk it down. So what did she start saying? Like, why is she the way she was?
Pretty much because she didn't have nobody. She was molested. I think she did tell me the age of around 2 or 3. I remember she told me that.
Y'all drop my IG.
The way her mom found out about it was that she had a weenie.
100 more shares.
So therefore, her mom saw that, and that's when that went that way or whatever. But I don't recall or remember.
Wait, when you say her mom saw a weenie, so she had like a hot dog.
Like she had a hot dog in her mouth. Yeah, a certain.
And she was doing something to the hot dog, and the mom said, "Where did you get that from?"
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, so she also pretty much she told me that because she was in and out of foster care, she really didn't have too much of a good relationship with her mom. Now I do know she did always bring up good memories with her mom about her cooking and the holidays and spending time with her siblings, being with her siblings or whatever. And as far as that, but most of the majority was always bad things. She, her living prostituting in Dallas. You know, one of her ex-girlfriends she was staying with in Louisiana was pimping her out. That's where that comes from. You
I
know,
have a question. Go ahead, Tashana, I'm sorry.
Hi, everybody. During the time that she told you about the hot dog incident, without going into too many details, did she ever tell you like her mom had a response or some other adult around her had a response to what had happened to her during that time? Like, did it end for her?
Was there any consequences to when she found out that happened? Did her mama get that legally taken care of?
No, not that I know. She didn't tell me nothing that was legally. I mean, no.
And not even street, like nobody from the streets or anything like that.
No.
Oh, did she ever say anything about her mama selling her anything like that, or getting her?
No, she did tell me her mom was a stripper at the time, and that her dad and mom were like, her dad was way, way older than her mom, and that she was a boyfriend's, or it couldn't have been said that. I don't recall. I don't think it was said that, but that one time the dude drove. They went to her mom's job, you know, while her mom was a dancer, and the dude left her in the car for like hours or something, and he came back and then he just dropped her off. Like he dropped her off and then pretended like he went somewhere to scare her a little bit, I guess, and he ended up coming back. Her stories were pretty strange. Like it just didn't make no sense. And then she always said that her mom's boyfriends would look at her a certain way. There was one time she tried to tell her mom about a guy, you know, in her room, wanting to touch on her, and the mom did not believe Aaliyah. The mom would not believe Aaliyah.
Now, Miss Denise is in the chat. I know you don't care, but I'm just making everybody aware she is in the chat.
Yeah, she is all right.
Okay, so Jules, you had something you want to say before Tashana said something?
Well, yeah, but now because she went somewhere else, so I'm gonna go somewhere else on this. Courtney, were you with Aaliyah while Denise was living in Texas?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so you met after the mom left Texas?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question for Courtney.
Sorry, go ahead, Thea. We got from TikTok. You should be able to hear. Go ahead, Thea.
Hey, Courtney, I understand that you deeply loved Aaliyah, and when she confided in you with the issue of stepdad, are you speaking on the current
No, Leah.
husband Denise is married to, or are you talking about another individual?
The one she's married to.
Whoa, let's stop right there. So the hold on, guys. So the guy that we met that Miss Denise is currently married to, she said that he gave her weird looks and was like touchy feely.
No, no, those were her previous boyfriends, I guess. Those were the
okay.
But the one that she is married to, she told me a story that one time that he told her that she wasn't wearing any undergarment underneath her leggings or whatever. And I felt like when she told me that was pretty strange, because like, why is your stepdad noticing that you don't have underwear underneath your leggings?
Right.
That is true. We're going to definitely ask Ms. Denise about that a little bit later on. Now, guys, make sure y'all are sharing out the social media as well as the Cash App. That's how we get people to come interview with us. We donate for their time. Money is time and time is money. Y'all know how we do it. I know TikTok, some of y'all not that familiar with me, but over here on YouTube, we know how we get people to come to us for entertainment. Okay. Now Courtney.
So Courtney.
Oh, go ahead, Thea.
Sorry, honey. Can you share with everyone listening the reason that Aaliyah told you that she was in foster care?
The type of person that I am, I'm just a person that, I know how to talk to people. I know how to use my words, and I know how to give off this energy where people are just naturally comfortable with me. You know, I could meet a stranger off the street and they start telling me their whole life story. You know, so, and pretty much I know for a fact that I felt like her safe haven. Like she could really trust me with her inner, you know, her most deepest, darkest secrets, which there are some pretty dark secrets that she did explain. Like, you know, she did tell me, although I had to question her about these things because in my mind, I wanted to know what has happened to her along the way, you know? And she's been, you know, she ran away at the age of 13 to Arizona with a guy, ended up contacting what she had. Although even though I did see the previous interview with Ms. Denise or whatever, and what she said, as far as what I'm gonna say is, Aaliyah told me that her mom blamed her for the reason why she got what she got.
Wow. And we taking notes. Now,
what do Elma, Jenny, and Marcus have in common? They all grew their businesses with Fiverr freelancers. Whether it's
Courtney, let me ask you this. Did Aaliyah feel like that her siblings, the younger siblings that they have now, got treated better than her? Did she ever speak of any type of jealousy? Like, wow, my mom is great to these kids, but was horrible to me. Did she ever, because I know
she would hit her mom's stomach with like a water jug or something like that. She told me she threw it at her stomach while she was pregnant or whatever. But as far as anything, she did say that her mom tried to accuse her of, you know, touching on her younger sibling. And
what?
Yeah, it was pretty messed up. I was like shocked, but yeah, pretty much she had to get away after that because that was a pretty big accusation, and she really was like hurt behind that, you know, for some fact. But she was glad that her younger siblings did not have to go through certain things that she went through as a kid.
But she accused Aaliyah of molesting or touching or whatever her own siblings. Are they boys or girls?
They're 2 girls and 1 boy.
Okay, it's 3 of them.
I got a quick question. During the time when Aaliyah was telling you these stories, did you connect with her because you've been through some of those things with her? Because sometimes when you've been through those things, you can connect with people when they telling, and it's just strike a nerve inside of you. So when she was telling you, did you feel the energy of there's no way she know these things and not have been through it?
Yeah, I have plenty of stories of my own.
I'm asking you to share any because when you get comfortable enough to do it, but I know I've been through some of those things too. So I've been,
you know, molested at the age, you know, when I was younger, probably at the age of 7, 8, by my aunt. So there was a lot of things that we had in common, but not so in common. It was just I understood her on a more in-depth level.
Okay. All right. So let's move the post a little bit. So y'all get together. You say y'all was living with your mother at one point. Now, because she was living with some friends, some guy friends, she was uncomfortable with them. So how did y'all go from living with? Well, someone in the chat, that's a good one. They say y'all trauma bonded, and that's people do trauma bond. So how did y'all get from being at your mother's home to, you said y'all was living in abandoned churches and in homeless shelters?
Before that, because we was together for 2.5 years, almost, you know, I say 3 because it was like, we were still talking, like, like talking, but we were still on it, like on and off kind of thing. And my mom stood up one day, she was wanting to leave. Like, me and Aaliyah had got into an altercation. We had got into a little altercation where she broke my TV, stomped on the TV, you know, and my sister had to come in the room and break us up. She ended up packing. I told her to get out, you know, because I wasn't with that rah-rahness. Like, I didn't expect that from her, you know, so it was just like.
So at that moment, you've never seen Aaliyah get down and fight like that. So she popped off on you. You like, whoa, I ain't never experienced this with you. And that could have been like the bipolar that she was diagnosed with. Like, you like, oh shit. Now, was she a fighter? Was she a fighter? Like, was she no weak? Even because, you know, people look at like, you light skinned, you weak. She wasn't no weak No, we
Nah,
checked.
she always told me about the story. She always had fights in school and stuff like that. I remember her telling me crazy stories with her fighting. She's been to even Job Corps and told me how she got kicked out of that or whatever because she was in multiple, physical altercations with the other girls, or it was always something. And she got jumped one time by 5-6 different people. This was back in Michigan, though.
Wow. Okay. So, all right. So let's move up a little bit. So back to the homeless part. Now, okay, so that situation happened. I guess your mom like, this too much. Y'all need to get out.
Yeah, no, she ended up packing up. I came home from work and all my mom's stuff was gone. But my room, anything that was there was gone except for everything in my room. So me and Aaliyah, I had to do what I had to do for me and her. I wasn't gonna just let her just be out on the streets. That's another reason why I let her come back after I told her to leave, because the person she was staying with, one of her other friends, like, the girl is starting to trip behind Aaliyah because I guess the baby daddy was, I don't know. Aaliyah was a very beautiful girl, so that's why she drew a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And the girl was trying to, she had nowhere else to go, and I just didn't want to see her on the street. So I ended up, I was working at the time, she wasn't, but I ended up getting a storage for our stuff to be put in, and I ended up finding us a studio bedroom apartment. Her name could not go on the lease due to the fact that she had some charge on her background as far as in another county, which was Dallas-Fort Worth County, for destruction of property.
Okay.
So that was on her background. So my name was on the lease, but that's where we ended up living there. And then
Courtney, is this the same place where she passed? Is that?
No.
Okay, different apartment. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so all right, so y'all moved into this new place. So how did y'all get from?
After we were living with my best friend. We lived with my best friend for 2 weeks before we got our place. We lived with her and her mom and her sister.
But I'm trying to lead to the part where y'all got from having y'all own place to where y'all was homeless and in shelters.
Well, I wasn't homeless. That's the thing.
So you was never homeless. It was her homeless.
Nah, I chose to be with her in those moments. I had somewhere to go. She didn't. But I chose to be with her because I didn't want to see her by herself. Like, I love that girl, bro. Like,
so she literally was finding empty, abandoned churches living in.
Go stay in the shelters. The shelter, it was called the Covenant. And it was located, like, I literally went looking for this girl at this shelter. I caught the bus trying to find her because she had blocked me one day. Like, the next day after one night of us going out and stuff, and the next day, boom, I don't hear from her. I can't get a hold of her. So I went looking for her, but to see if she was at the shelter. And that's the shit. Like I said, it was a Covenant. But the only reason why, because I slept with her in an abandoned church and at a bus stop for 2 days.
Wow.
The first was the bus stop, then it was the abandoned church. I watched this girl get into a fight with another person at this shelter. There was a lot of people that was against her, and I always told her that when we got together.
But against her, why though? When you say against her?
Because Aaliyah had a mouthpiece on her. Like, she made seem like she was
Yeah, press mute. Y'all press mute, Coach P. Press mute.
She always had fake friends.
Press mute. Oh, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she always had fake friends. I always told her that all these friends they claimed that was her friend and this and that, they wasn't her freaking friend, man.
All right, because when we see the picture, we see like you know, we see light skin.
Yeah, like that's all they
girl.
Why does she keep saying that?
We would be walking down the street and dudes would be barking out their cars, honking their cars everywhere. The next was turning, bus stop. People wanted to pick us up.
Courtney, what were you?
Like, it was that bad.
Wow.
Courtney, what were you doing during this period of time? What were you doing to make a living, if you don't mind me asking?
I was working multiple different. Well, for one, before I got with Aaliyah, I started working at Specs. I was working at the liquor store, and that's when things kind of went trailing downhill from that point on. So I was working there till I got fired, unfortunately, because I was drinking on the clock. And that's how bad it got to that point. But the next day, this is also after she was in the hospital. I had to call, my friend actually had to call the 911 because she's in the bathroom trying to overdose.
Girls, this is the
Light
Thorn
skin
Lady
ain't
of
never
Finding
meant
Purpose.
weak. Oh shit. Light skin ain't never meant weak. That's a lie.
Okay. So how long did it take for you to let Miss Denise? Did you let her know right?
Back to back.
Are the comments we're supposed to be looking at? Zeke will, right?
She wanted to leave.
So why did she go? What happened?
Oh yeah.
You forgot we were supposed to be looking at his comments in the damn
Hold on.
thing.
I gotta back up. Hold
She was
on.
Okay, so all right, so y'all moved into this new place. So how did y'all get from
after we were living with my best friend. We lived with my best friend for 2 weeks before we got our place. We lived with her and her mom and her sister.
But I'm trying to lead to the part where y'all got from having y'all own place to where y'all was homeless and in shelters
Well, I
and
wasn't
units.
homeless. I wasn't homeless.
Okay, we
That's the
heard
thing.
So you was never home.
I was going to work. Actually, yes, I was going to work.
Oh,
And
Zeke Will is down there. We got
So I
a
went
big
looking
screen.
Yeah.
to see if she was at the shelter. And
No, it's fine like this.
But the only reason why, because I slept with her in an abandoned church and at a bus stop for 2 days.
Wow.
The first was the bus stop, then it was the abandoned church. I watched this girl get into a fight with another person at this shelter. There was a lot of people that was against her, and I always told her that when we got together.
But against her, why though? When you say against her,
Because Aaliyah had a mouthpiece on her. Like she made seem like she was
yeah, press mute, y'all press mute, Coach P, press mute.
She always had fake friends.
Press mute. Oh, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she always had fake friends. I always told her that all these friends that claimed that was her friend and this and that, they wasn't her freaking friend, man.
All right, because when we see the picture, we see like you know how we see light skin,
like that's all they
girl, innocent.
We would be walking down the street and dudes would be barking out their cars, honking their cars everywhere. The next was turning, bus stop. People wanted to pick us up.
Courtney, what were you?
Like it was that bad.
Wow.
Courtney, what were you doing during this period of time? What were you doing to make a living, if you don't mind me asking?
I was working multiple different. Well, for one, before I got with Aaliyah, I started working at Specs. I was working at the liquor store, and that's when things kind of went trailing downhill from that point on. So I was working there till I got fired, unfortunately, because I was drinking on the clock. And that's how bad it got to that point. But the next day, this is also after she was in the hospital. I had to call, my friend actually had to call the 911 because she was in the bathroom trying to overdose.
That's why I want to lead into, because Ms. Denise said that there's a situation where you went to the club and on purpose you did not answer the phone for her, and she really wasn't trying to kill herself. Well, you know, her
Live
harm
go,
herself,
y'all. Live go.
but she was trying to.
Live goals.
But she was
small
trying
gifts,
to get your attention.
protect, bop,
And by
bop,
trying
bop.
to get your attention, I guess she did take the pills. That was
Yeah,
something
she
that we
cheated on me. That's why she did that. She cheated on me. One night she turned off her location, and the next thing you know, I didn't hear nothing from her the whole night. Nobody could get a hold of her.
Thank you,
Once I
Libra.
seen
Thank you,
she turned off the
Tony. Thank you,
location, I knew
L'Oreal.
what was going on already. So the next
L'Oreal,
morning,
thank you.
I was getting ready to go somewhere. I think to I was going to work. Actually, yes, I was going to work, and she was coming in, and I looked at her. She looked at me, and I just walked past her and walked straight to the house. So within those 3 days, that 3-day time frame, the third day she came back, I let her back into the house. I let her come back because again, she had nowhere to go. The girl she cheated on me with, it eventually, I guess, kicked her out. So she ended up.
But do you know for a fact? Do you know for a fact she was cheating?
Yeah, my friends were there. All my friends were involved in this relationship.
What?
Okay.
She cheated.
Thank y'all.
Hold on, we got a question up here on TikTok. Go ahead, Jay Tudor.
How you doing, Courtney?
Good. How about yourself?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, well let's dive in a little more deeper. Could you take us through the last 48 hours leading up to this incident between you guys? How was the vibe? How was her vibe? Like, can you just give us a little insight on it?
Wait, hold on, Jay Tudor. You talking about what incident? Talking about when she passed?
Yeah, leading up to
No. We began. That's way down the line. We ain't even close to that yet. We trying to
right. We want meat and potatoes, bro.
Yeah, we ain't even close to that yet. We just at the beginning.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So what happened when she did try to allegedly overdose, whatever? So
my friend Sam,
protect the life.
Thankfully he was there because I was just in a state of shock. Like I just was numb. I didn't know. I've never been in this situation before, you know what I'm saying? So, and just to go back to about the club situation, I actually did go home that night. I wasn't even outside. I wasn't even out with my friend at the club for 20, 30 minutes before my Aaliyah's friend, who stayed in Dallas, Fort Worth at the time, she met her, was calling me, telling me that I needed to get back home because Aaliyah was feeling suicidal. She said she was wanting to hang herself. I didn't. My best friend took me back home literally 15 minutes after we had just got to this place.
Mm-hmm.
So I came back home that night and she was sitting there on the bed with the red light lamp on and she was just looking crazy.
Nobody called 911, took her to the hospital, pump
No, she wasn't preparing herself or anything. She just she had those thoughts of wanting to do that. So she didn't want to be alone. That's what I assumed. So her friends calling, blowing me up. So of course I'm going to go to make sure this girl is okay. You know?
I have a question. How many times during the time you and her were together, how many times do you figure that she made an attempt or she was doing maybe, because sometimes it can be a confusion of whether it's manipulation or they really, really trying to do it. So how many times did you experience it? Because sometimes when you experience a whole bunch of times, it kind of do make you like back up off of it, you know, when you know that somebody's playing a game with you. So how many?
She wasn't playing the game. She wasn't, but definitely like 4 times. I want to say 2, like a couple times when we was in our first apartment together, and then a couple times when she was in her own apartment, and that's when I was living with her.
Performing on the biggest stage in the world was just one step in my journey.
Okay, you see that box on top of Miss Rhonda?
All over the world.
You see it's Kiana, then it's me, then it's Miss Rhonda, then it's JJ Lakehouse. That's where you're bopping. Bop that screen, bop that box.
Were these mutual friends that you were all friends with?
Did you hear what she said? She said, when you say mutual friends, are you saying these were all y'all friends? Mutual friends when you say her friends? We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
She's muted.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Courtney. We can't hear you. Hold on, I'm gonna kick you out and then you come back in. Nope, I can't hear you. All right, I kicked her out and hopefully she'll come back in. Y'all leave Miss Denise alone in the chat. Let her do her thing in the chat. She's going out. She's gonna come back in, Thea, because we can't hear her. What you saying, Thea?
The last lady asked a really great question, and I think I watched the video where Courtney was saying that she had done this and that, and got Courtney went and got Aaliyah, therapy and help because she had seen some of these signs and these behaviors. But the last person that asked that question. That was a really good question. So when she comes back, maybe you can ask Courtney to elaborate on, you know, what she did to help her.
Denise said it was ibuprofen. Let's see if we can get that confirmed.
Okay. All right. So, okay. Cause I know we want to dig down, but we still got a time limit. So, you know, we got to get to the all right. Hello? No, I can't hear you still. Can y'all hear? No?
Maybe she should try refreshing. Frankie, stop.
Or recharge the phone up.
Yeah.
Charge got to do it. You know what?
Y'all, it said we glitching. You gotta bop.
I'm gonna drop the link in the chat, and maybe she can just click it from the chat.
Send gifts to protect the live, y'all. Let's protect the live.
Hello?
Hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you now. Okay. Now, okay.
Wi-Fi, so this is why it's probably doing that. I do apologize.
No, it's fine. You're good. So
this apartment.
And it's like a nice apartment from here. And I want to get to the meat and potatoes to some stuff. Now, y'all make sure y'all making sure our guest is comfortable. Y'all drop her information. Y'all make sure y'all show some love. Now, let me ask you this. Now, there was a debate with Miss Denise as far as she said it was just like ibuprofen. It wasn't really
Yeah, it was some ibuprofen pill.
Okay, so it really didn't hurt her. So it wasn't like she had to go to the hospital.
No, she was in there for like 3 days, man. They had her on suicide watch, that's all, and then they released her. The next day, like literally I want to say the third or second day, the second or third day, I got fired from Space. And I ended up going back to the hospital after that situation. Boom, started applying for jobs. She's over here panicking, freaking out, like, what? You don't have a job. How are we going to pay for rent? When first of all, I'm the one that was putting all money towards rent anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one with the job. And if she had a job, I helped her get a job at Walgreens. I took, like, you know what I'm saying? I told her how to finesse her drug test, all of this. She had a job. She acted like she didn't want to go to the job. So they ended up firing her.
Mm-hmm. But I thought you said she was she was prostituting. Was she still doing that?
No, she wasn't doing that with me. No, I didn't come.
Okay. So all right. So we need to hear that. So when y'all was together, she was not prostitute. This was stuff she was doing in her past.
Yes.
Because Ms. said that she was doing it and was giving you the money.
No, nobody was giving me the money.
So you saying you was taking care of Aaliyah? She wasn't taking care of
I pretty much was. The only thing that Aaliyah provided in that house before she always destroyed it and took off running when I would call police on her is food stamps. She put groceries. And the one time I did get help from my grandmother, $200 worth of groceries, she destroyed it. She literally tore up the whole kitchen.
Okay, now there is a court case that was going on at the time. Why was charges
I filed charges on her. I filed charges on her because she threw a mirror at me.
Did you get cut or anything like that?
No, it was just the simple fact she threw a mirror at me, bro. It was just like, I'm not, I didn't know I wasn't gonna put my hands on the girl, but at that time I was just like, you ain't finna be just doing something violently, or you know what I'm saying? That it could have put me. You feel me? It could have did anything. That was not no small mirror.
Okay. How long did she go to me? But y'all was still together though, while the court.
Yeah, she went to jail. She went to jail, and I still let her come back and stay with me.
So did you try to drop the charges, or did the state?
I did try to drop the charges. I did go to court with her to let them know that I did want to. She was supposed to start taking anger management classes. She was supposed to pay the fee or whatever that she was supposed to pay for her to start those classes. Now it was for like she was supposed to get it done by July or something like that. But I don't know what ended up. I'm assuming she didn't do what she was supposed to do when she had got the money. But she was supposed to do that. That's exactly what the attorney had told her.
Okay. Now, and we might come back and revisit some of these questions, but I'm just trying to move us over, and that way we kind of before I move to the next topic, guys. Did y'all want to elaborate on anything with this right here? Or we can move to the next one.
Just during this period of time, what type, if you don't know, just say you don't know. Mm-hmm. Are you aware of any
this Jules lady, she, it's always you motherfucking Jules.
contact or how often the contact was between Aaliyah and her family?
It was very little. I mean, the only time she would, she never wanted to talk.
Zeke Will comment says, Jules, I was there for the pill overdose and the day she cut herself in the bathroom. I did not witness any other attempts.
To her mama. She did not want to talk to her mom. She just really did not have a good relationship with her mom, at least from what she told me and from what I saw myself. Now, anything after me and her were no longer talking, that I can only have a theory or assume, but I always tried to get her to talk to her mom. Her parents called, reach out, you know what I'm saying? So talk to her siblings at least, and she never wanted to. The only time her mom would really respond or you get a response back is when Aaliyah we needed help, which is we needed money. You know what I'm saying? We had to pay for certain bills. We had to do these So
let's speak on that because you brought that up. You said y'all reached out to her mother before.
She reached out.
She reached out to her mother for financial help, and you said her mother never came through.
Yeah, it was always, let me talk to Ahmad, which is her stepdad, or you know what I'm saying? So, and I really can't recall there being a time where they actually sent her money, and if it was probably like $20.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but most of the time it was always me.
So what did she say anything about her mom having mental health issues as well?
Yes, she said her mom did have a
let's speak on that.
She said
what's her mom disability?
Yeah, that's someone knows that her mom do drugs.
And someone asked, did they say anything about Miss Denise ever doing drugs? Because Miss Denise said she only suffered from alcoholism or whatever at one point. Okay, so she said, guys, that is true. Only alcohol, no drugs. Okay, so y'all do agree on that. Okay. All right, so let's get to the part, okay. You made mention of something, and she made mention of something that stood out. She kept mentioning something about a possible assault that happened that she see in her medical records, but they said that no one was available. Now, you made mention that she was ganged. Great.
Yeah, but that was years before.
That was before she got with you.
Yeah, that was before she got with
me. Okay, this wasn't with you. So, was this in California or Arizona?
No, this was in Dallas. This was in Dallas, Texas. She got gang raped by 5 dudes in a van.
Wow.
Then was she also got raped behind.
Hello?
Just let them do them.
Hold on, you froze up. Can you say it again? You froze up. You said she was
also sexually assaulted behind, in this alleyway. It was very dark or whatever. Yeah. And the guy just came up behind her and she just allowed him to do whatever because she didn't care. That's what she told me. Those were her words exactly. I asked her, why would you let that happen? She did not care. She just did not want to be here. She let these people take turns on her in this van. Wow. Nobody knew about that. Nobody. And I know why she never told nobody, because the people that she had friends that she called friends, they were the ones that were always throwing stuff in her face or spreading her business out, letting people know that she had this type of condition and that. I wouldn't trust nobody with that information either.
Yeah.
So nobody's gonna know. Not even my mom. Not even her. I know she don't know that.
Do you think the police? You listen, I'm trying to the police.
She didn't do none of that.
No, but I'm saying as far as her reputation, you know how every town, and I know some places are bigger than others, they have known street workers. Was she known like that?
I don't know. I know Alice Street, that was her main spot. That's where she started, that's where she was really doing it at. I know there were a few times when we broke up, She was prostituting.
We can make you believe we know what
Y'all,
we're doing.
please.
When in fact, we do
Stop the
nothing.
screen, y'all. Protect the live.
There
Touch
was
the
one
live
time she
goal.
called me on the phone and she told me she was at a hotel. She was at a
Touch the
motel or
boxes.
whatever, and she was crying. And this is we were not together. We had just got into this altercation, but she put nonsense, all this upside. Like she really physically abused me, bro. Mentally, physically. And it was like she called me and she told me what she was doing, and I told her, bro, I'm not talking to you if you go out. If you get off this phone, you go do what you do, you ain't gotta worry about hearing from me no more.
Mm-hmm.
And she stayed on the phone with me that night.
Well, what about, because see, now what you just said is what her mother said, that she was calling her, telling her how you was physically abusing her. Even one time, I think you took her phone and she was messaging you, asking you to please give her phone back or something like that.
Well, the only time I actually got physical with Aaliyah is the one time where I was fed up with her just everything. And then she disrespected my grandfather. And, you know, my grandpa was my father figure. She literally kicked me out the day after. I'm not gonna say she kicked me out. I left. She wanted me to leave. She wanted me to get my stuff and get out because I didn't want to go with her to help her with groceries the day after my grandfather passed. First, that day she cursed and said, "That's why your grandfather died." You know what I'm saying?
Because you said that you helped get her therapy. So how do you help
That was
her
after
therapy is medicine?
incident with the suit, like, you know, coming out the hospital and stuff like that. Like, that's when we was like, me and her friend Jasmine was really trying to, like, all of us, me, my best friend, my guy friend, we were all trying to get her help. She did do it. She did it she did it a couple times, and then after that she didn't want to do it no more.
Okay, what were y'all in a relationship like? Was y'all in like a polygamous relationship? Like, because they keep bringing up this young lady named Blue. They saying that
No. Blue was her play sister. Blue didn't come into the picture until around in the beginning of May of 2020. I talked to Blue before once back in 2018 when me and Aaliyah was first going together. You know, she had all these friends, so I really didn't remember who this girl was. But, you know, when Aaliyah told me, like, you remember, she called me, we was on the phone, and she said something in particular that made me remember, oh, that's the girl, that's who she was. So she moved out here to be with Aaliyah.
But what about the Ciroc person? Was she going between you and the Ciroc person?
Nah. See, no. I wasn't with her when she started dealing with that girl.
Now, was she dealing before you or after you?
The only reason why that girl or she got around that girl was because my cousin was like kind of like crashing at Aaliyah's place or whatever. This was in 2020, but everybody has been knowing Aaliyah since the time I was with her. My cousin, they've all known her the same length of time that I knew her. So,
but what was she with the Ciroc before you or after you?
No, she wasn't with her before me. She was with her. She started talking to that girl after me and her was like, That's when she got around my cousin. My cousin that was her best friend. My cousin's best friend was Ciroc. That's the only reason Aaliyah and Ciroc ever got to see, you know, be around each other. And whatever happened, I do know that the girl sent me a sex video of her and Aaliyah to me on Instagram. You know what I'm saying?
Did you and the Ciroc lady have any physical altercation, or was there any beef between you two? No.
Nah, she just wanted to beef up with me for whatever reason, but I am.
Okay. Did y'all need to jump in, Jules or Tashana, before we move on? Do y'all want to?
I think it's move on.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to get to some more meat and potatoes. So let's go off into the conversation where this is an explosive allegation. You said that people were